Hello guys, Vin here. I want to take a minute today to talk about the P60 flashlight platform. I'm not an expert by no means, but I'll tell you what I know and how it all relates to the current light engines that I'm currently making for these lights, okay? As far as I know, Surefire is the first company to come up with this idea. Basically, it's a empty body or host that can accommodate a variety of light engines that are user programmable. So say you go out and you buy a host like this one here, the 6P, and then it will come with an incandescent bulb, which is the original one, and then as LED technologies evolve, you can come out and buy new light engines and just pop it in and you have basically a brand new light without having to replace an entire light. And on top of that, there's other accessories that you can attach into the light. They're all Legoable, okay? So basically you can have a ton of different heads that you can put on, a bunch of different bezels to fit your needs, and tail caps, different type of tail cap operations. So it's a very, very customizable platform, okay? And so since Fire came out with the design, a variety of companies out there copied their design. So let me show you a few copied example. One of the more popular one is Solar Force. Okay, I believe that Solar Force is a Chinese brand, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay. Their quality are very nice at a fraction of the cost of a Surefire. It's the inside of the tube is a little larger than a Surefire body. Surefire bodies can only take two CR123s. A Solar Force or most aftermarket third-party brand will take an 18650, a larger, higher capacity rechargeable cell. Okay, and they also come out with a bunch of other different accessories like this rubber cigar grips here. Pocket clip and stainless bezel for front and rear. Okay, so and then on top of that, you can find a ton of different accessories that can also be attached to these type of lights. Here is a diffuser, like a lantern, extensionally, a lantern diffuser, where you would take off the bezel and then just twist this right on top of the light, and the light would shine into this diffuser and effectively turn this into a lantern. Okay, and this would be a base to hold your light so that it will tail stand firmly. If you have one with a protruding button like this one, that will not tail stand. So, and these are just some of the accessories that I have. There's a ton more accessories out there and a ton more of different type of hose and finish you can have. These are two Solar Force hosts that I customize, I suppose. Okay, pieces here and there that you can piece together. This one's a cool one here, also by Solar Force, that is made entirely out of aluminum and carbon fiber wrap, I guess. Inlays. Okay, there we go. So that leaves a world of possibilities of what you can do with this platform. Okay, as a matter of fact, I started out with the flashlight business, building light engines for this type of light. Okay, and I evolved from there. Okay, here are several examples of some of the light engines that I currently make for this light. Okay, a traditional one would have a reflector and an LED at the bottom. Okay, this one in particular is an P60vn. It's a floody drop-in. I don't make this for the market anymore, but this is one of my first few ones. Okay, in recent times. Okay, here is a triple. So basically, this plastic here that you see is called TIR, which is Total Internal Reflection Optics, and it focuses the light without a reflector using just the optics here. And most optics produces a really large hot spot with no spill. I'll demonstrate that later. And the advantage of this type of setup is you have a whole large solid chunk of this one here is a large copper shell that is about an ounce, 1.2 ounce, I believe, of just solid copper. So it heat sinks very well, and everything mounts onto it as opposed to this reflector here, where it's noticeably lighter and most of it is just empty space for the reflector to collimate the light. Okay, so triples and quads, heat sinks a lot better, a lot more expensive, and it has a more I don't know. For me, it's a more practical beam because I liked my lumen to be all in one spot without any distracting hot spot and spill. Okay, but you know, your mileage may vary, obviously. All right, so here's an order I recently finished for a customer. This one is a little bit more blingy. The entire hose is made out of titanium, and it was dark heat treated to give it this darker, more mysterious look. And this one right here has a quad P60 engine in it. Okay. As far as I remember, the first incandescent Surefire P60 makes around 60 lumens to 120 lumens. Okay. With today's modern technology, we can cramp out 3,800 lumens out of just a single drop-in. So the same exact engine size, okay, and I can crank out now close to 4,000 lumen out the front, at least at turn on. Okay, even after 30 seconds, it should put out well over 3,000 lumen, which is very, very impressive, and it's a huge step up over the original 60 to 120 lumen light engine. So you can buy one of my 3,500 light engine and pop it into one of your antique P60 host, and you can have that output. Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that because, say, as I started saying, the original Surefire hose can only take 2 CR123s, okay? And in order to acquire the higher output that we have here, you need to run the newer cell, the 18650 rechargeable lithium ions. And you can see here, this is a Surefire body, but it was bored for 18650. What that means is this light went to a machine shop, and the internal here got bored out to a larger than 18 millimeter diameter so that it can accommodate the larger cell. Okay, so if you have one of the older Surefire hose, you would have to send it into a shop and have it bored for 18650 cells. Otherwise, it will only be able to take 2 CR123s, and that cell has a very strong shelf life. Okay, so it has its great attributes, but it's not very good for high output. Okay, and it does cost a lot as opposed to run as opposed to 18650 rechargeable cells. And on top of that, 18650 is also a rechargeable cell, and it has a higher capacity, so it lasts longer and it's rechargeable. So it's a much more sustainable battery. If you're not sure what an 18650 is basically it's a very popular cell. You can find one in most of your laptops. You can find one in your Teslas and your Toyota Prius car battery pack. Okay, very, very popular cell, very high energy dense. And if you've never heard of it, you have got to look into it because you cannot get into high power flashlights without going the lithium ion route. Okay, anyhow, back to P60. So here, as I mentioned, we have a quad P60 in here, and I basically made this palm size light 3,500 lumen out the front effectively. Okay, and you can do that too by buying one of those one of my light engines, and put it into one of your older hosts, and it will do that. And it's really, really fun to be legoing them with the choice of your tail cap, bezel, copper bezel, or whatever that you like, and make your own truly custom host. And it's a very, very fun thing to get into. It gets very pricey real quick. Okay, for example, the light engine here, the light I'm holding in my hand is $350. Definitely not cheap. The light engine itself is around $165. Okay, so one of this is $165. And just this copper bezel head right here is $92, I think. Okay, so everything gets quite pricey, but it's really fun to be able to customize your own light. Not saying that you have to go the pricey blingy routes. Okay, you can buy a complete nice like this one right here. It's a really nice host with carbon fiber inlay and ready to go. It's a turnkey host, okay? And it's about $25. You just have to upgrade the switch for like 15 bucks, but that's it, okay? And you can even get it cheaper. You can get a Solar Force host for like, say, the cheapest one I've seen is around 10 bucks. And with $10, you can get a nice host, upgrade the switch. You walk out the door less than 20 bucks, less than $28, okay? Around there, less than 30 bucks, and you have yourself a really good host. So it's not always $350. Okay. The light engine though itself is $165, and you can't run away from that. That's expensive. Okay, but it's really cool. It's really fun to do all your Legoing, and you can tune your light for throw. You can tune your light for flood. You can put all kinds of things in here. Okay, let me just go out to the garage and show you how a little light like this at 3,500 lumen looks like. Okay, all right. Okay, so there's low. Okay, so most people would think that with a 3,500 lumen light, it must be very impractical, it'll blind you all the time. That's not true. With LED, you have a ton of modes you can set it to. So right now I have it set to a simple 3 modes. Okay, that's medium, and this is the full-on. So the light is actually too bright, and the camera has to step down. Okay, so low, medium, and then high. Okay, I'm going to do a quick ceiling bounce here so you can see how actually bright it is with just a ceiling bounce. And yeah, there you go. So something in the palm size of your hand, and that puts out over 3,000 lumen. It's quite impressive. It's quite of a thing to enjoy to hold. Okay, it gets very hot very fast on the max brightness, but you know, that's the nature of the beast. Okay, all right, thank you.